Welcome to the Government News Brief for Monday, October 10, 2016. In the news, the Guyana Fire Service is having open day all week and you are invited. A mentorship program to guide students in career choices has started and stakeholders will be consulted before legislations go to the National Assembly. Stay tuned for the details. The government recommits the consultation with stakeholders before sending legislation to the National Assembly. Kidaki Amsterdam reports.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams says the government has a policy to consult on bills before they are laid over in the National Assembly. He was addressing the start of the consultation on the draft witness protection and whistleblower legislation. These two bills will be read for the first time when the House meets on Thursday. Williams says the two bills aim to encourage witnesses to provide evidence in high-profile cases. He identified the government's forensic audits. Williams says it is also a step towards full compliance with the Inter-American Convention Against Corruption.
The Convention requires member states to consider the creation, maintenance, and strengthening of a system for the protection of public servants and private citizens who, in good faith, report acts of corruption to the relevant authorities.
Meanwhile, the minister says the whistleblower bill is intended to protect citizens about to make disclosure of corrupt practices in public and private entities without fear of retribution.
The main objectives of whistleblowing would include, that is, whistleblowing legislation. One, to inform individuals of their right to disclose acts of corruption or other wrongdoings and the protection offered when doing so. Two, to provide a safe means to make a disclosure of improper conduct. Three, express clearly what disclosures are protected and provide appropriate action, including protection under the Witness Protection Act, which is currently in bill form, in the more serious cases to a person who has made a disclosure qualifying for prosecution, for protection. Four, to provide a framework to properly deal with and remedy any matter disclosed under that legislation. Five, clearly express the procedure to be used to disclose and garnish the protection offered. Six, enforce the remedies available to those who suffer unfairly for blowing the whistle about corruption, wrongdoing, or any other serious risk. Gets to the right people at the right time.
The public consultation saw presentations by the High Commissioner of Canada to Guyana, the Guyana Human Rights Association, and several others. For Government News Brief, I am Kidaki Amsterdam.
There has been increased police presence in Region 3 in the last 2 months to tackle serious crimes. Already there are positive reports. Delon Sanko tells us more.
Commander of D Division Assistant Commissioner Leslie James is assuring residents of Region 3 that crime will be brought under control. The commander was speaking with the Government Information Agency at a meeting at the Kendron village on the west coast of Demerara.
At the moment we have some foot patrol in the Vredenhoek area. You would know recently we've had some crimes occurring in that area. We have foot patrol, we have mobile patrol, we even now have cycle patrols. The patrols are on a 24-hour basis. We have a constant presence at the western edge of the Demerara Harbour Bridge, amongst some other initiatives that I cannot mention at this point because of security reasons.
James said that the force is making every effort to ensure key stakeholders play a role in the crime-fighting approach.
Meeting with members of the various communities, I met with victims of crimes, and I will continue to do so. I have met with members of the community policing groups, the neighborhood policing groups, and I've given the assurance that we will remove that gap between the police and the general citizenry within the D Division.
Police has reported a 9% decrease in serious crimes in Region 3 over the past 2 months. Delon Sanko for the Government News Brief.
Today, the Guyana Fire Service has opened its door to the public to visit and learn about fire prevention, firefighting, fire safety, or the job of a firefighter as part of the activities in observation of Fire Prevention Week. Fire Prevention Week is being observed from October 9 to 15 under the theme, A Collective Responsibility for the Preservation of Lives and Property. Gina encourages you to visit the fire station nearest to you, take along your children, and learn more about the preservation of lives and property. The doors of fire stations across the country will remain open to the public for the duration of the week. Residents of Dickensian and neighboring communities highlighted their problems and shared their concerns with a cabinet member over the weekend. Details in this Namila Henry Rowe report.
Minister of Legal Affairs and Attorney General Basil Williams yesterday visited the West Demerara community to listen to the residents. The residents reported on poor infrastructural works and being neglected for 2 decades. Melville Marshall said roads are deplorable.
I'm so disturbed about the street that run from west to east on that one side. It's very, very bad. And it's not good for no pneumatic vehicle to travel anyway. And I'm having a pneumatic vehicle.
Ramrati Patamber is a pensioner and a resident of Old Road who said numerous complaints were made to the Neighborhood Democratic Council, NDC, to have her damaged bridge repaired, but nothing has been done and this impedes her traveling.
Then he had the bridge for the people and for crafts. They break down the bridge. I don't know who is in authority or who not, but they break the bridge and they can't replace up to now.
And that bridge crosses where?
The old road bridge.
Minister Williams made a note of all the problems identified and promised to raise the issues with his colleagues in government.
So we will have to make an effort to ensure that this type of equipment is available to alleviate the suffering of these people. They have been suffering for years, and this new government will make every effort to alleviate such suffering. And so we will do the necessary. I was informed before, and they had asked us to drain the canal. And I now have the Minister of Agriculture has agreed to do that canal for Ruby to Purico.
The community is also affected by poor drainage and no street lights. This has led to a rise in crime. Meanwhile, NDC Chairman Regina Mahadio says she took office 5 months ago with over $5 million in rates and taxes outstanding. She noted that her office is working on addressing the issues plaguing the community. Regional Executive Officer Dennis Jaikaran says roadworks will commence shortly in the community. For this government news brief, Namila Henry Rowe.
The CDC hosts a mass casualty training workshop to prepare stakeholders for disaster risk management. Sanika Thorne has the details.
Participants from the various organizations and agencies today began a 6-day training course to equip them with skills to deal with disasters. Director General of the CDC, Colonel Retired Chabilal Ramsroop, says the training will save lives.
Mass casualty management is very, very important when we talk about disasters. If you have a good organization in mass casualty, then we can save a number of lives, we can save limbs, and we can ensure that everybody has a proper representation of what they require in health when we do have a situation where we have a mass casualty.
Ramsarup urged participants to take the training serious as they would be responsible for saving many lives.
I hope everybody here pay interest so that when we have any mass casualty incident in this country, we can easily manage it. It's a system that's geared to save lives, to save limbs, and to ensure that the injured get treated properly according to the grades that they are in.
Upon completion of the training, participants will be issued with an internationally recognized certificate. The workshop is made possible through collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, PAHO WHO. For the Government News Brief, Sanika Thorne reporting.
The implementation of a mentorship program will provide students with guidance to help them make career choices. Find out how in this Isaiah Braffett report.
The Ministry of Education Department of Youth is currently embarking on a youth mentorship program. Director of Youth, Melissa Carmichael, in an interview with Gina, says the program will align students with successful persons in various careers.
We believe that our careers don't just happen. There are certain processes along the way, and this is one of them. Someone or some person should be there to mentor you and to mold you and to shape you, give you advice, tell you about challenges, tell you about the threats to your career. And this is what we are trying to establish in the youth department.
Carmichael says the program will target students of all ages. She says one of the main reasons for the program is a realization that many youths aspire to professions, but they need someone to motivate them.
We know that some of our young people across Guyana, they have a lot of ambition and they have a lot of aspirations, but they sometimes need a push or they need someone to encourage them and motivate them, and that's what we're providing.
The mentorship program is one of many programs aimed at empowering young people. In June 2016, Minister within the Ministry of Education, Nicolette Henry, presented a copy of the National Youth Policy to the National Assembly. The policy provides 5 strategic areas which include youth identity and empowerment, youth employment and entrepreneurship, education and market-driven skills development, and youth leadership, participation and representation. Isaiah Braffett, the Government News Brief.
Today, the World Health Organization recognizes World Mental Health Day on October 10 every year across the world to raise awareness of mental health issues and mobilize efforts in support of mental health. This year, World Mental Health Day is held under the theme Psychological and Mental Health First Aid for All. The day provides an opportunity for all stakeholders and those working on mental health issues to talk about their work and to explore ways to make mental health care a reality for people who suffer from and are diagnosed with mental illnesses. Some of the activities that will be held in observance of this day include a parade, pampering of patients, and a luncheon. Gina joins Guyana in urging all to provide strong and supportive community environments for persons with mental illness. We have come to the end of today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on Gina's website. Gina has an active Facebook page, and we encourage you to visit and like us so you can be informed as the news unfolds. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renetta LaFleur. Thank you for watching.